My name's Keith, and that was a song I wrote called "The Undertaker." And that was actually a co-write because one of my best friends, Grant Hawkins, wrote the words for that. Kind of a co-write because words adapt, but that was Grant's lyric. um, so this evening, I'm going to be playing some original songs. We'll see as time permits. I might get into a few cover versions, but really, my approach to this evening is to do a kind of lecture recital a little bit. We'll try and keep it light on the lecture. Yesterday, I did a songwriting workshop. That was really fun. I got to talk a lot about all of my approaches to songwriting, things I've noticed, things I've learned, strategies I use, drawing on classical music, drawing on pop music, and yeah. So I want to give a little bit of kind of a little bit of analysis to each song to sort of say not just here are my songs, but here's the process behind them, just to kind of keep with the educational and informative aspect. So that song was called "The Undertaker," and here's a few things about it. Well, first of all, the lyric by Grant is kind of like a Twilight Zone type situation. It's about a small town with an undertaker or mortician who is driven to actually killing someone to keep business going, which I thought was a kind of ironic and kind of creepy lyric, and I liked it. And we kind of worked out a lyric that described that situation with as few words as possible. And musically, here's the idea: it's guitars are tuned roughly in the key of E, right? And so we end up with a lot of guitar songs in E. Being a big fan of 90s kind of alternative rock, a lot of 90s rock, depending on the key, but usually they're using a lot of octaves. They are often using a pedal. In classical music, we call something a pedal point, where you change chords, but you have a low note that's steady there, like a drone going underneath. And so this main riff is kind of what that is. I'm exploring the E Mixolydian scale. Hey, there you go. There's a look. I'm using my modes. I'm doing all these notes, but the whole time this is ringing out. And the other thing is that I'm letting myself hit these two open strings, which are B and E. The E, ooh, I got to tune the B. The B is actually the fifth of the chord, so we have this fourth here ringing out the low note, and allows me to explore all of these notes. One thing that I talk about a bit in melody writing, in music writing, is chord tones versus non-chord tones. So to put it really simply, every chord has every basic major or minor chord has three notes: the first, the third, and the fifth. And when you're writing a melody over a series of chords, the notes that you're singing are either chord tones or non-chord tones. It's a chord tone if it's one of those three. If it's something outside of there, so you're singing a note that's outside of the chord, it's a non-chord tone. Now, some of those can really clash, like a semitone difference. Say you're singing this note over this, like it's gonna really clash. But other times, even by just a whole tone or a major second, it makes it muddies up the sound, but it doesn't make it super dissonant. And so yeah, that's one thing. So anyway, The Undertaker, it's an E, and this whole chord progression that goes down, we're using a lot of E as the pedal point, and a lot of the chords I'm using are in the key of E, or relate to the key of E rather. I'm using these voicings that keep this B and this E ringing out, so we have this drone happening. This is A and D over that, so it's like an A suspended with the E on the bottom. Then we've had an E7. And then we've got this chord, and I promise I'm going to go to another song in a second, but these are kind of chords that you're going to see in the next song, which is called "You Are the Doctor." This is just a major chord, but I got this idea. I listen to a lot of XTC, if you know Andy Partridge of XTC. One thing that he does, he writes a lot of pop songs, but he always likes to have them kind of quirky or something with a twist. And I have the same kind of feeling, especially with the lyric, right? Something, it's a bit creepy. It's not something super straightforward what are the ethics of this undertaker? What is this it's kind of a murder mystery, really. So we have a sense of unease over this low droning E, right? How do we create a sense of unease over that as we were going down? Like, I could go to straight up major chords as we're going. Let's see, like a sign into town reads 100. That would be with all of the root notes, the ones on the bottom. But to make it a little bit blurry, a little bit twisty sounding, we're going to put the third on the bottom instead. That versus that versus that instead of this. That'd be the normal version. Here's my version. And I make it even a little bit blurrier, but I'm letting those open strings ring out. So nothing too crazy is happening. You still have a sense of what the chord is, but I'm blurring it as much as I can as I'm going down. Doing it again there. Again, the third of an A chord on the bottom, open strings ringing out. And that's a guitar thing. I'm not sitting down and calculating that. A lot of this is just trial and error on the guitar. Here we go. That's a nice one. That's a diminished chord, which actually leads us to a G. So on the way down, we changed the mode a little bit. No longer are we just going to head to an E major. This is actually an upside down G. We'll call it upside down chords. I like to think of it that way. And then finally we get down to here. This is actually an E. That's actually the first chord we started out, but it doesn't feel like home, right? Usually when you have a key area, like E, and you go there, it doesn't feel like home. This would be home, but I'm keeping the third on the bottom, so we're still not quite sure where we are. And then we make it E minor, and then we go to F sharp 7. And where you think I'm going to actually land this whole sequence, even though we've started in E, we're going all the way down. By doing this, going to F sharp 7, you want to end in B, and that would be the new home. But instead, I just drag you back down. So I want to have something that I have a lyric of an unresolved mysterious situation, and this is how I create an unresolved mysterious situation within kind of an alternative rock pop context. Let's play more music. This song is called You Are the Doctor. The first song as well as this one are both available on all streaming services. Check it out, Spotify. And I'll just mention that when I release this stuff as under the name God's Gift to Parkour. So check that out. Here's You Are the Doctor. You are the doctor, and you can tell everyone's coming down with a bad case of exposure. You are the doctor, and I am the patient. I am removing the wires that keep me alive at my station. I am the patient. That's when the nurses all come around. That's when my temperature's going down. First, I hear electric sound. It hurts. You are the doctor, and you can tell everyone's coming down with an odd case of disclosure. You are the doctor. Now I am the phantom, looking down on everyone, holding hands and singing their national anthem. Oh, I am the phantom. I stand with you at my funeral. That's when I'm in a rabbit hole of dirt. It's the doctor, and you can tell everyone's coming down with a bad case of exposure. Oh, you are the doctor. All right. That song was in D. And again, it's similar. I do these back to back because a similar approach to both of them. You know, nothing too weird in terms of the key area. It's all in D. All the chords are in D. But again, we have, we have a kind of a weird situation in the lyric, and I want to flip everything on its head chord wise. But still, so you know where you're at. You know D sounds familiar. But I mean, imagine if I was going. You are the doctor, and you can tell everyone's coming down. It's too clear for me. It's too clear for what I like anyway. And that's the thing about songwriting. It's, I talked about this a bit yesterday, but in a lot of musical traditions, a lot of the time there's a style and you learn to write in that style, and your success is based on how much it is like that style. But in the kind of music that I'm presenting today, pop and rock music for the last 50, 60, 70, 80 years that I listen to, there isn't one style. In fact, the more and more up to today, it's not about adhering to one particular style. And what listeners actually measure on is how much you're creating your own style. So the things that interest me are these flipped around chords, these muddy chords, these uncertain stories, to kind of blur things up. So yeah, again, you've got these chords underneath, all these upside down chords with a third on the bottom. I'm doing it for everything. And it's a good tip that if you're playing guitar, say with someone else and someone else is playing bass, they're going to be playing the low root note. And you don't necessarily have to be playing that low root note too. You can actually put the third on the bottom, and it's going to give you a thicker chord voicing wise. Anyway, it's just an idea. So if you know what I'm talking about, try doing it. Try flipping your chords around. Try finding ways to play your chords that are a little bit weird. And oftentimes it's a result of experimenting. Again, with songwriting, it's ideas first, and then you add use tools later. This, I don't know. I wrote that without knowing what it was. It was just a matter of whatever I was doing. I picked up the guitar and I did that, and I said, "You are the doctor," and boom! I didn't know where it came from. Whatever. That was just the idea, and everything else I added onto it was to serve that idea of this. And the line, "You are the doctor." Well, who is the doctor? Why is there's some kind of accusation? There's some kind of issue. Anyway, really cool. Great. I think I'm just going to keep powering through some tunes, see how many tunes I can play for you all today. So these are getting away from the moodier tunes. Here's something a little bit more up-tempo. I was a frame. I was a frame, and people would slap me on my back and say, "Hey boy, are you okay?" But now I'm a brain. Well, now I'm a brain, and people are tapping on my door to say, "Hey, have a nice day." Well, now I'm a brain. Now I'm a brain. Now I'm a brain. Now I'm a brain. This mind is all I have. This mind is all that's mine. This mind can tell me just how bad it gets. So I better hold on. Well, I was in chains. I was in chains. And people would rattle my cage and say, "Hey boy, are you okay?" But now I'm a brain. Well, now I'm a brain. And people are tapping on my door to say, "Hey, have a nice day." And now I'm a brain. Now I'm a brain. Now I'm a brain. Now I'm a brain. I was in pain. Well, I was in pain. And people would look in my eyes and say, hey man, are you okay? Well, now I'm a brain. Thank you. Yeah. I'll just speak to little. I'll just grab little details. I could talk for a million years about each of these tunes. Uh, I'll just talk about the fact of power chords. If you play guitar and you've been playing for a bit, and you like any kind of, especially if you like any kind of punk rock, classic rock, even if you probably know what a power chord is. And like I was talking about before, a major minor chord has three notes. Yeah, let me get into this for a sec. So we've got the first, the third, and the fifth. The first is the home bass. That's the root note. The fifth supports the first, right? So it's say in the key of A, which we were just playing in. That's the first. We're home. And then we've got the fifth. And you play those together, and it's a nice home bass. It's supported by the E. Excuse me. The third, that's the one that basically tells you if it's going to be happy or sad, right? Major or minor. If it's major, if the third is major, it sounds like this. There's the third. It's the brighter sound. It's the major sound. It's the optimistic sound. But if it's a minor third, it sounds like this. It's darker. It's sad. Anyway, and that's the difference. Now, and you can use those as much as you want in different combinations. I'm going to talk about going back and forth between those two. Hopefully, we have time. But here's the thing about power chords. There's no third, right? It's just this. And you can hear it's a bit of a thicker sound, but it's just 1, 5, and then another one. I'm not telling you that it's a major. I'm not telling you that it's minor. It's just... Now, power chords are usually, you just keep a basic way to play things. But I think of power chords as also a songwriting tool, in that you don't have to give away if it's major or minor. And again, this song is a kind of, to me, it's like a funny song. It's like a cartoon song of, frustrations, but you leave your body and now, oh, look, everything is better because I'm a brain in a jar, as if that would be better. But, it's kind of that funny cartoon-like image where you're not sure, is this supposed to be funny? Is this supposed to be sad? And that's why I'm not differentiating between major or minor. You don't have to. It's just A. It's an open sound. And I often think about power chords like the listener themselves can fill in if they actually think it's minor or they think it's major. Like, well, it would be so different if I went, now I'm a brain, now I'm a brain. Or if I went, now I'm a brain, now I'm a brain. I'd have to change some of the other chords if I did it minor. Anyway, that's something to think about. If you want to think about the tone of your song, if you want to think about the mode, the mood of it, ask yourself major or minor, but also tell yourself it doesn't have to be either. And that's why so much heavy rock, punk rock, heavy music with often, difficult themes of mixed feelings, miscommunication, mixed messages, uses power chords. Like all of Nirvana is power chords. Most of it, anyway. You get a lot of major and minor, but like if you listen to that kind of stuff, yeah. And what the word would be melancholic or bittersweet. Anyway, this is all pointing towards what I'm thinking about in general, which is in classical music you have a term word painting, where it's something, to give you like a very obvious example, if you had a song that went, I went up the stairs, you go, I went up the stairs, and you go, the melody literally paints the image based on what it's doing. Or it took a long time, or I'm running fast, you can, you know what I mean. But more abstract ways of looking at that in modern pop and rock music, I think it happens all the time. I think it really does. Okay, I'm going to play, I'd like to play a bit of a weirder song and a work in progress song, and then 2 more songs after that. I've still got about 20 minutes, so yeah, let's give it a go. This song is called Scan the Skies. This is not released yet. Now I'm a Brain isn't released yet either, but I've been playing that more and more, and that's what I consider a finished song. This is a pretty finished song too, but it's a bit of a different vibe. Maybe before I play, I'm just going to explain a little bit what's happening harmonically here. So here's the main riff. So that's the riff. It's kind of a weird one, right? A little bit of a crunchy one. That riff by itself seems to just indicate that you're in C sharp minor. And then this is just a step above here. This would be like a D major 7 chord. But I'm gonna go between those for the verse. But after a certain point, you're gonna hear me walk down. And I'm gonna step down to here, and then I'm gonna step down to here. And then I'm going to land in a different key, which is E minor for the chorus. And the chorus is going to be more of a straight ahead E minor key area. The way I get there is I walk it down. We've already got this back and forth motion, so I just take it a step further. And I stretch it one step further, and I make it a 7, a B7. And if you know a little bit about music, you know that if you have any chord, you make it a 7, you can treat it like a 5/7, and that's going to resolve to a 1. And the B, basically what I'm saying is the B7 tells you to go home to E. Anyway, here's the song. It's called Scan the Skies. The 7th day was a workaround. The loudest voice made a quiet sound. Show me what to do, I'll be sad and blue. Everybody's coming down from the edge of the stupid town. Show me what to do, I'll be coming too. Could save us from this earth. Eleventh hours come around. The little kids playing lost and found until they find a clue. Then they'll be coming too. And if you ever bring me down and write me off as a nervous clown, well, I'll say the same of you, and we'd be laughing too. I'll scan the skies for falling rainbows. I'll eat the lies that made you feel bad, 'cause I'll take my time to step beside you. I'll leave behind the ones who know but won't control the power that could save us from the ones who know but won't control the power that could save us from the ones who know but won't control the power that could save us from this earth. We're gonna end it on the tritone there. Right on. Yeah, that's Scan the Skies. I'd like to give a shout out to Gavin my vocal teacher and also my coworker. He's been running band camp with me the last few weeks. He's a great vocal teacher, and he teaches through JAMS. I studied with him online because I've been playing guitar for a long time, drums for a long time, but I thought I wanted to really get to know my voice better, and I've been having so much fun with it. And so I really recommend that, if you think I sound good, then you should get some lessons with Gavin. And if you don't think I sound good, well, you should get some lessons with Gavin anyway. And then you can talk to him about what went wrong. Cool. Okay, yeah. Here's a song. So here's a song I've been working on. A brand new one. And it's called. Working title is Out of Cash. So this is not a finished song, but I talked about it a little bit yesterday. I'll talk about it really quick here, as to. Keith, how do you start writing a song? You've got all these ideas. How do you come upon the idea? Okay, here's a few things for you. First of all, pick up the instrument when you least want to. That's how you get ideas. You're never going to get, but don't expect to get a great, unique, imaginative idea when you put on your calendar 5:30 p.m. Wednesday, write a great song. It's not exactly going to happen like that. You can work, you can practice, you can try writing some stuff, but I find that all of my favorite songs that I've written have started when I kind of least expected. When you have your busiest day, when you're going through this and that, just grab the piano, guitar, and just see what comes to your hands. And chances are it's going to be something interesting. I have the benefit of being a music teacher, and often I'll just riff on something in between lessons or from waiting for someone. And when I least expect it, and the other thing is have your phone ready to record those ideas because you won't remember them. So that aside, the other thing about ideas, once you have an idea, ask yourself, what does the idea tell me that it wants? So here's this quick process that I had behind this one. It's called Out of Cash. And I had a notebook for lyric ideas. I'm not a huge lyric guy. I usually come up with the guitar ideas first, like this. That was my original idea for the last song you heard. But sometimes if I think of a phrase or something, I'll write it down maybe for later. And one day, I don't know, like a year ago or longer ago, I wrote down in a book just a phrase: "You got to spend money to make money," and which is probably a phrase that most people have heard. You got to spend money to make money. And I thought it was kind of a funny phrase. It's kind of a sad phrase depending on how you look at it. So it kind of had that funny blend of like ironic, kind of sad, and kind of silly at the same time, which is how most of my songs seem to end up. So I just wrote that down. I also thought that it could be a musical phrase: spend money to make money, right? And so then like a year or more later, I was just trying to come up with some other songs, and then I went back to that idea, and I thought, okay, what could this be? So I went, you gotta spend money to make money. Okay, spend money to make money. And I'm like, what am I gonna do here? Do I go, I first go to E, because when you have a guitar, you go to E first. And you go, you gotta spend money to make money. I'm like, okay, already that sounds pretty singable. That sounds pretty good. But first of all, I'm like, okay, I'm sick of songs in E. So I grabbed this and I put it on 2. And I do it there instead because I just wanted to sound different than other songs I've written in E. So I guess now it's an F sharp. And I went, gotta spend money to make money. Gotta spend money to make money. And all I'm doing is I'm on an E minor going down to a D. And spend money, I'm just going back and forth. And that's good. And then I started adding to the line, spend money to make money. You better work, honey, or you'll be all out of cash. And that's how we can end it. Okay, great. You gotta spend money to make money. You better work, honey, or you'll be all out of cash. And there I went from a C shape to a G shape. These would be relative majors to the G is the relative major to the E minor. Anyway, I could get really music theory here, but I want to play some more music. So that's the idea. I had a lyric idea. I thought about the musicality of it, and I just found some chords that went with it, and it felt good in my range. And then, so I had this chorus, and then verses that complement it. So my whole chorus is, you gotta spend money to make money, you better work, honey, or you'll be all out of cash. You gotta spend money to make money, you better work, honey, or you'll end up in the trash. Oh, A7, that'd be cool. A7 shape against B7, capo, and then you're back home. So then the other thing that I did was I was like, okay, great, this is a good chorus. I need some verses, and I just sort of went for this. And the other thing I wanted to address, and I addressed it yesterday, I'll just say it really quick. When you're writing a song, it's really hard to worry. It's really hard to stop worrying about ripping someone else off, or oh, it sounds too much like that. Oh, it sounds too much like this. Oh, it's just me pretending to be Avril Lavigne or Bob Dylan or Rihanna or whatever it is. But over the years, I've actually kind of flipped on that, and I allow myself to be like, I'm going to do this thing there. And even if I'm not directly ripping chords, I'm not directly ripping something up, but I'd be like, oh, this was what that kind of artist would do there. So in this case, I did what I call like my Oasis thing, which is a sequence of chords that roundabout sounds like something I've played out of an Oasis song. And I just thought about that, but I'm literally saying, okay, this is kind of an Oasis thing. Is it going to rip off Oasis? Is it going to be like Oasis? No, because it's my own thing, and it'll sound like me when it comes through. Yeah, so last thing I'll say, that's how I ended up with my my verses, sorry. I did the Oasis thing, and I was thinking about Lou Reed and how Lou Reed hammers in on one note for a long time. And so I had these words for the verse. Now, lyrically, I'm thinking I've got this main idea about spend money to... It's the catch-22, right, of income. So the verses are all going to be complementary ideas that support that catch-22 income idea. So the first verse is just this. And I was like, I just want to drill on a note for a second. I don't want to move around too much. So I went, it's been looking no good. It's been looking real sad. The dreams where I'm investing are the best I've ever had. And that, again, is another little reference to me. Someone tell me, right in the comment or something, there's some song, I think it's like kind of an emo song from like the 2000s, and I can't remember the song, but I think it has a line, the dreams in which I'm dying are the best I've ever had, which is like the saddest, most depressing lyric you could ever have. So, and to the point where a lot of people kind of make memes and jokes about that line. So I decided to make my own joke about that. The dreams where I'm investing are the best I've ever had. And the other reason I picked that line is because best and invest are an internal rhyme, which my first year college English course told me, remember, rhyming is good. Rhyming isn't corny. Everybody rhymes. The heavy metal people rhyme. The hip hop people rhyme. Everybody rhymes. Try rhyming. It's good. It's fun. And it sounds good. It sounds less cheesy than you think. So here we go. Last thing I'm going to say is that, yeah, I have a bridge in here too, where I go to the key of B minor, because it's nice to have contrast when we get verse and chorus both in E minor, and then you go to B minor. So sort of like the last one where I did two different keys, verse and chorus, I also got two different keys here, but I'm just doing a quick little change for the bridge. Here we go. So I'll play what I got so far. It's been looking no good. It's been looking real sad. Oh, sorry. We're going to start it one more time. It's been looking no good. It's been looking real sad. The dreams where I'm investing are the best I've ever had. It's been looking no good. It's been looking real sad. The dreams where I'm investing are the best I've ever had. You gotta spend money to make money. You better work, honey, or you'll be all out of cash. You gotta spend money to make money. You better work, honey, or you'll end up in the trash. Oh, we got bad jobs and we got bad pay. Do we really have to work, or could there be some other way? We got bad jobs, we got bad pay. Do we really have to work, or could there be some other way? You gotta spend money to make money. You better work, honey, or you'll be all out of cash. You gotta spend money to make money. You better work, honey, or you'll end up in the trash. To the bridge. But please don't tell me about your blues. I can barely take what's on the news. We've been been raised to buy, born to pay. Gotta help me raise some cash today. I've been reading big books, I've been thinking big things, and I've been looking past the past to find out what the future brings. I've been reading big books, and I've been thinking big things, and what the future brings. I gotta have money to make money. I gotta work, honey, or I'll be all out of cash. I gotta spend money to make money. You better work, honey, or you'll end up in the trash. Ooh, it never ended on that chord before. That's the thing. Don't ever play it when you're working on your song. Don't ever play it the same way twice. Throw a different chord in there. That was the first time I ever did the last chorus saying I instead of you. So that's interesting. Maybe we'll keep that. Great. I think I can do 2 more quick songs. I've got 5 minutes and I've got 2 short ones. It's been really fun playing for everybody out there. Yeah, I'll do one song. I'll say a few things and then we'll finish it off here. This is called Looking for Clues. So again, check out God's Gift to Parkour. This is off an EP that I released a few weeks ago. It's the last song on it. And one thing songwriting thing I want to mention on this one is that it has this sort of these rambling lyrics. It's very stream of consciousness, you know the pattern, the sort of chord progression is. I'm actually gonna So we're doing a bit of a mode mixture here because we're in C. And these are chords in C. We're in the key of C. We're going D minor, E minor, F, and then we go to C, and then we go to B flat. So again, it's like the Mixolydian thing, right? We get the B flat instead of the B in there. That's one thing. That's not the thing I wanted to mention. The thing I want to mention is that sometimes I linger on the B flat longer than others, depending on how many words I have to say. A really popular song that does that is "Across the Universe" by the Beatles, where different lyrics to different verses have different lengths. And you don't even notice it because you're following what he's saying. And it was just sort of happened that way. But it's nice. Again, it's nice to put a little quirk in there. I always think writing songs, it's a balance between not being too boring and not being too challenging, where you want to keep your audience not too bored by offering changes, but you don't want to be too challenging that they lose track of what you're trying to do. So here's Looking for Clues. Got nothing to lose, only a joker. Scrape your filthy shoes on the counter of the kitchen where your mom made you that food. Wasn't it delicious, just like your attitude? Aren't you so vicious like that Pistols kid who said, I don't read anybody's news, 'cause I don't expect to see the truth. Got nothing to do. Isn't it relaxing? I got some space to use. Doesn't it feel taxing when the facts come in to share their point of view? I don't read anybody's news, 'cause I don't expect to see the truth. looking for clues. I'm looking for clues. I'm looking for some clues. Yeah. There you go. I'm gonna do one more quick one here, and then that'll be it. Last one's called "I'm Not Your Fantasy." What do I have to plug here? If you would like to study with me on guitar or piano or composition or songwriting, any style, anytime, online, please go to JAMS Music Education. We've got people coming in for September. Grab yourself a spot. Here's the thing. You can subscribe. You can do once a week, or you can do a one-off, or you can do anything in between. We're all about the teachers and we're all about the students too. And we're just looking to provide great music learning opportunities that are sometimes off the beaten path. So absolutely message me, message JAMS, go on the site, try it out. And I've got other colleagues, including my friend Gavin, who taught me voice, and he could teach you voice too. Also, check out God's Gift to Parkour online, on streaming, Spotify, Amazon, Snapchat Music, MySpace Music, Ask Jeeves Music. What else is there? Yahoo Music. No, just kidding. You can find it most places. And that's me. And I released a bunch of stuff at the start of August, and I'm hoping to release more. And I also have a SoundCloud where I put classical stuff too. So hit me up with questions, concerns, comments, and just have fun playing music. This is the last song, and the last thing I'll say is we're back to our drone of the open B and E string. This is something I really like. If you listen to My Bloody Valentine with the Smashing Pumpkins, you'll know what I mean. When you play bar chords, you move them from place to place, and it gives you different major chords. But what happens when you let the high 2 strings ring out every time? Well, they muddy up each chord in a different way. I'm playing a G, but the B is a 3rd, the E is a 6th. I'm playing a B, now the B is a 4th. I'm playing a B, the B is the 1st, the E is the 4th. I'm playing a C, now that's a major 7, and that's the 3rd. Then I play an E, we got 5 and 1. I play D, we got 6 and the 2nd. And then we got F, and that's a sharp 4 and a major 7. So this is something to think about. When you want to make changes in your music, don't just change the notes. You can stick to the same notes. Change what's going underneath. It changes the character of the notes. This is called I'm Not Your Fantasy, and you'll see why I save it for last. Let's try it up the octave. Here we go. Locked in your car in a seance, with your eyes catching fire, losing headroom. 1, 2, 3, counting halos, with arms behind your neck, you're in a headlock. You get away, yeah, you get away. Get away from me. I'm not your fantasy. description. I've got a link. Please donate by PayPal. And yeah, maybe I'll come on and serenade all y'all another time. Take care. That's all I got for now.